I don't have much of a lot of background in natural farming. I started farming here maybe about 10 months ago in my little space. But anyways, I have come across this probiotic drink that came from Japan, and the name of it is called shwa-saka-san. It's like S-H-W-A, shwa-saka, S-A-K-A. I think Drake has put up a little instruction as to, or an information about this drink on the website, he said?
Yep.
So you can take a look at that. It has the instruction as to how to make it. I have lots for you to take home, so I hope people brought some bottle or jar or something to take it home so you can multiply it at home. Anyways, this is shwa-saka-san. Let me talk about this. The way it came about is after 3/11 in Japan, Fukushima. Of course, a lot of people started having thyroid problems, cancer and stuff. And some people thought about what to do with it. And we know, a lot of us know, I guess, fermented things, food, it's good for those things. And so some people got together and actually made this drink. It's basically made from any kind of herbs, usually leaves. So there are some beneficial bacteria living on those leaves. So they just put it in a bottle with water and sugar, and they just cultured it. It took about, I don't know, 3-4 days in not this kind of hot weather, but fall to springtime. I don't know what maybe around 70 degrees Fahrenheit kind of temperature. And so they cultured it, but then this one has not just from one particular herb, it has beneficial bacteria from over 100 different kinds of herbs collected in Japan. Each of them was made singularly, individually, and then put together. And this person who brought this over from Japan has been traveling with this. And every time he travels to different areas, and he usually travels to people who have a little farm doing natural farming. And so every time he visits different places, he collects this kind of beneficial bacteria and put it together. And at one point, once it just hit about 100, he stopped counting. So we don't know how many more than 100 herbs. And then when he came to this island this February, we added more stuff, the local herbs, the local bacteria from local herbs here too, like noni or soursop, mamaki, any kind of herbs, local herbs here. So it's got those things in here, and but going back to Japan then, they have been drinking this, those people who are affected by radiation in Fukushima, and it's not been reported very well. I don't know, of course I don't know about those things, but people are getting better with this. Their lump in the thyroid is getting smaller, and also they're also spraying this on the ground, and the measurement comes out that the radiation level is going down when they spray it on the ground. So it's pretty much a grassroots type of movement at this point, but that's how this came about to this island. And a lot of people, I wouldn't say a lot of people, spreading it. And we want to spread this as many people as possible free. Here it is, and I think I have enough for about 40 people to take home today. And so I'll just go over how to, do you have any questions so far?
Is it a concentrate? Do you drink it dilute?
It's kind of like a concentrate. It is a mother that what you do is you add about 3 to 4 times water to a mother in a bottle, and then you add some sugar. So you want to, of course, use most unrefined type of sugar. Honey would do, brown sugar. I think if you have sugarcane juice, I've never tried it. I think you can do that too. Molasses really works well. It's not that sweet, molasses, but the color is so dark because I use molasses a little bit, and then I use honey. But then it's up to you as to what kind of sugar you want to use. But if you use molasses, it gets dark. If you use like only honey, it comes out much lighter. So don't think of the color as like if you're making it right or not. Because if you use only honey, it comes out really light. Anyway, so you add, you add water, about 3 to 4 times of water, and sugar, I'd say about 50 grams to a quart. But it's not really, doesn't have to be exact. Once you start and you make it, it's like you just add whatever. I just add whatever, and that works. And in this temperature, well, not in this room, but in the temperature outside, it makes, you want to keep it at room temperature, and if you use molasses especially, it'll be ready in a day to a day and a half. And the way you can tell is when you add any sugar, of course it's sweet at first, right? And in a day or within 2 days for sure, in this temperature, it loses that sweet taste because the bacteria is eating up on that, feeding on the sugar. So it tastes a little bit, tiny bit sour, and it also bubbly, gets bubbly too. So then you know, and you want to, of course, when you do it, you shake it, keep the lid loose. You do need a lid to keep off bugs and stuff, but once it's ready, you want to keep it loose, shake it a couple times a day, and when it's not that sweet, it's done and ready to drink. And I would leave like at least about this much space. You don't want to fill up the bottle because you want them to be able to grow. And otherwise, actually, when you shake, you just explodes, sort of. So you do want to leave some space. And if you really want it done first, you can put it in the sun for an hour or 2. But, you know, in Hawaii, in this weather, sunlight might be a little too strong. So it's been not just for cancer and stuff. You probably know how this type of beneficial bacteria is the gut health is basically the source of our immunity. And you know, there are some books written, like I think it's Brain Maker or something. Have you heard? I can't remember the name of the author. He's an MD. He studied a lot about intestinal health and
Brain.
Yeah, I think that's the author, and
Same
his
guy,
latest
yeah.
book is Brain Maker.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely good for your brain function. I think it's not. I think I know that it's good for Alzheimer and autism. It doesn't quite cure it, but it helps. Because it sugar. It's good for diabetes. But you know how basically intestinal flora, having the good intestinal flora is the base of our immunity. And as you know, it is the base of immunity for soil too. And it can be used for like an EM is used. So you have to dilute it quite a bit, like EM, like 500 to 1 to 500, 1 to 1,000 when you are using it on soil or on the plants. Let's see. So other than just drinking it, a friend of mine who's going through a precancerous skin problem, he's getting much better. He just applies it directly on the skin. So it's good for if you have any skin problems, it's a really good thing to apply. Of course, I wouldn't say it's good for anything, but I would try it, definitely. Let's see. Anything else that I should? There are some more detailed instructions as to how to make this, and you can, of course, look at the website for that PDF file. It's good to put a little pinch of salt on new moon and on full moon. And new moon is tomorrow, I think. So when you make it, either tonight or tomorrow, you can put in a pinch of salt, just a tiny bit.
What does that help for? Like, is it just for the magic, or is there?
Seems like natural salts seem to activate those bacteria well. It seems to do better with a tiny pinch of salt, just a couple times a month. A bit of magic, I guess. Let's see. Do you have any questions?
Well, how much do you have to ingest?
Oh,
And how
as
long-
much as you want.
Once you make the mixture, like the ratio that you explained, how long does that last?
Okay.
Or you drink the whole?
If you drink the whole thing, and you don't want to drink the whole thing, you do want to leave a little so that you can keep on making more, right? You want to keep enough so that you have a little mother to multiply from. So don't drink it all. Just leave a little bit for the next time. But,
So there's no prescription for how much to, like 8
No.
ounces or
No.
2 ounces or?
No. I kind of drink it. One more thing is after, when it's done, in this weather, you don't want to keep it out in the room temperature because it's going to turn into alcohol. And then after a while, it turns into vinegar. But even if it turns into alcohol or vinegar, you can still use it as a mother. Still alive in that way. It just doesn't taste that great. Or if it turns into vinegar, you can pickle things. Let's see.
Will the PDF instructions be on the Natural Farming Hawai'i?
Yeah, right.
Can you use fruit juice as well?
You can use fruit juice. It's just when you use fruit or fruit juice, it turns into alcohol much quicker. Or if you put in flour, it also turns into alcohol easily, too.
Do you also have plants that you would recommend using to add to it?
If you want, yeah, obviously you can do that. Whatever herb that you can find locally, but don't culture it in this mother. Culture it separately in a bottle with water and sugar. It may take 3 to 4 days, I don't know. I haven't done it at this weather, in this weather, so it might be less, but you will see. It's gonna start to bubble up and taste a little bit, tiny bit sour. You know, it loses its sugary taste when it's ready. And then once that's done, you can add it to the mother. So don't culture it in the mother if you want to add something from another herb.
Why is that?
It doesn't, it doesn't like to mix. I've tried it once too, but it just didn't seem to work that well.
It might be that there's so many microbes in that original that it doesn't allow the plant microbes to grow and flourish.
Yes.
So, Banchan, do you make it every single day? Do you make another
I don't make it every single, I usually have this bottle and another one that's a little bit smaller. And that'll give me about 2 days worth of drink. I mean, I drink it when it's hot, out of the fridge. So I keep it in the fridge once it's done. Otherwise, as I said, it's gonna turn into alcohol and then into vinegar. And also, if you're going away for a week probably okay, 2 weeks, even in the fridge, I'm not sure if it does really well. So just ask your friends or whoever who's here to give you some as a starter. Any other questions?
Could you see the name of it again?
Shwa-saka, S-H-W-A, shwa. Saka, S-A-K-A. San, S-A-N. So shwa means, it's a Japanese mitobe, like shwa means bubbly. And saka is from sakaeru, which means to thrive. And san is a friendly way to call something. So shwa-saka-san, or shwa-saka.
Is your contact info on the document?
My contact info, I don't think is in there.
Would you care to share
But
it?
yeah, sure. Let's see. An email, I guess. YBAMBA.
What was the last? YB?
YBAMBA 555 at gmail.com.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?